Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the G2 Esports Get the Cash Cup, powered by Logitech and Pay Safeguard. I'm Taylor Reflections Double, joined by Jacob MVPR, and hey guys, we're heading into our game number 6, but before we do, we got to check out who's in first place, right? Is it going to be Chapix and Co. able to hold on to that first place spot? Well, let's find out, and yes, they can, by about 30 points, a bit less than 30, 28 total points, but still not a bad lead, but a couple players, a couple teams, I should say, do drop down the list.
Yep, definitely do drop down the list just a little bit. One of those teams is going to be the team of Mongraal, and so you got to give it up to them. They've been doing a great job coming back from a bad game number 1, but they still have an immense amount of work to do, and this is where it begins to get hard because only the top 3 get paid in this situation. So if you're one of those teams that's outside of the bubble, this is where do you go ahead and play your game, hope for one of these top competitors to get eliminated early, or do you try to pad those stats, get some bonus points while trying to get some eliminations?
So let me take a look. So Malibuca does, in fact, drop down quite a bit, Jacob, which, again, one of our qualifier teams trying to hold on strong. Yeah, they were from 4th now to 8th place, but it makes sense, right? Off the rip, they got into that fight with MrSavage. We kind of, seen, obviously, how personal it got between the two and how much and how hard they chased them down, but even almost losing the fight after they did that. But after all, though, our top 3, there's a big separation between those. But I think what's scary for that 3rd place, the money, the bubble, it's still relatively close, right? You look from 3rd place at 138, even down all the way down to 5th place. Let's just say that at 122. So Scram, Seti, got to watch out. Noah Riley, obviously, still in that spot. They can't be too comfortable. Quite honestly, if I'm in top 8 and I'm anywhere from 3rd to 8th place, I know I can jump up the leaderboards. I can at least get into the money. That's the biggest thing. But for Deceptos, Wakey, they're going to have to mess up royally, really have a bad game. But if they can at least place well, they should take 2nd place. And same thing for Hin, Janice, and Chapix, Jacob. I don't see them dropping from 1st. They have such a massive advantage. They should stay in the money. But hey, things do happen, and you know yourself being a competitor, right? And watching, competitive esports for quite some time, and along with myself, look, first place is never guaranteed. There's always a team that's hungry to overtake you, and sometimes because you're at the top doesn't necessarily guarantee you success. Yeah,
we've seen some leads slip away before, but a 28-point lead, almost 30, it's going to be very, very hard. I think one of the biggest situations that any one of these teams looking to take first place is if they fall early, which is going to be very, very doubtful if you go ahead and ask me because of how consistent they have been playing so far. So I do kind of agree with you. It's more 2nd place. It's more so 3rd place as well that have to really be cognizant of their placings, of their points, and almost of the kill feed as well, because if they realize 4th place is hot on their heels, getting a big number of eliminations, that's going to put some pressure on them and might make them make some uncharacteristic moves.
Well, I think we're going to see plenty of uncharacteristic moves, in my opinion, throughout this entire
final
game 6.
Right?
Yeah, we're going to see quite a bit. We're going to see teams challenge, who are at the bottom, who definitely want to make a statement. We're going to see a lot of eliminations, I think, or more W King, I guess is really the right word for it, more aggression overall, Jacob, and that's to be expected in game number 6. But for those who are just trying to survive, right, or at least just try to, maintain that top 3 position, I'm curious how they go about that. Do they keep playing the same game plan? Because their game plan is sound. It's good. No, it's led them to where they are. But their game plan also does entail maybe a couple of contestations off the start, which they have been winning. But you know how luck has it, okay? Whenever you do drop, it's normally in that game 6. And that's when you've been winning against a trio on your landing spot, and then all of a sudden you lose because it's game 6. It happens all the time.
No, it definitely does happen all the time. But you got to imagine, a lot of these guys have been here before. They felt that pressure time and time again. They're going to play everything that they practice. So the one thing that I feel that's going to change really heavily in this game number 6 from the other ones that is going to have to at least take a mental note in their head is how desperate that we know these players are going to get towards the bottom. They're going to have a few of those players trying to look for some more eliminations, mix that with placement so they can find a way into the money. And for Janice, Chapix, and Hens, they don't have to make any risky plays. Like I said, continue doing what you're doing. Get your Storm Surge tags when you can, and just think end game. Because if you go ahead and take an early fight, even if you're confident, even if you know it's a team that might not be there, we know how aggressive the rest of the lobby is going to be to try to third party and steal those elimination points.
Yeah, Trapix Trio, craggy cliffs. No one has really tried to even challenge them.
Once.
Now, you do have teams up top of the hill, though, and also on that little island to the left where they like to go. So ultimately, on the rotation, they do find themselves running into a trio. But I do like that you broke it down properly, Jacob. You know, they love to land at the big house. They go in. They all, at the same time, right? At Wolfpack together, they hit those slurp barrels. Then before you know it, they're at 100. They're feeling solid. They're feeling good. They get kitted up. They get, fairly well because there's a lot of vehicles down there, too, that they can pick up and just rotate out. So I think the strategy is sound, and that comes to show you, even though Slurpee is hotly contested, you come out with a couple of eliminations, full shield. We've seen a lot of contests, at Misty Meadows, Lazy Lake. Speaking of which, we haven't seen retail off the rip either, but then again, there's only one trio going there, so maybe not the most exciting POI. But let's get it started. Craggy, again, for Janice, Hens, and Chapix, they are not going to be contested, and this is great for Game 6.
Yeah, and I do believe I saw on the kill feed, Mitro and that trio over towards Slurpee, picking up some early eliminations. You talked about, and we both kind of talked about the strategy. They're just going through, getting these slurp barrels early on. They don't want to risk anything, and they know they're uncontested, so they want to save as many of those healing items as possible toward the end game, which has been their strategy, and you can't knock them for it. Almost 30 points above second place, a commanding lead. The game, the tournament is in their hands. So it's going to be, like we talked about, interesting to see if there's anybody going to try to contest them throughout their loot path. If anybody, when you fights them, they might know they're there, try to get the elimination so they can put the game in their own hands. But I talk about towards Slurpee swap. It's actually Mitro and his team rotating to Dirty Dogs to try to take this fight. You see Wolfies with just a sliver of health trying to survive.
Sliver of health, man. That's not what you want to hear in Game 6, is it? But it is the reality of the situation. Anis, a player that's been playing fairly well, I guess, in this moment, though. No tack, what are you going to do? Just unfortunately did not have the loot, and ultimately won't get ran through by Wolfies, who obviously a very talented player indeed. And super curious to see what Flick and Thomas can do in this moment, because, Wolfies is obviously a contester that's, a competitor. It's going to be solid to play against. Reboot Van, was Reboot Van already used too?
It sounded like it for a moment that it just came back up.
No way.
As Wolfie's trying to get out of there. 33 tag. He can only take a few more. He goes
over here pumping
down.
Him up and he gets mowed out of the air.
Wolfie's goes down. And just the fact that it looked like he did actually go down instead of getting eliminated, you got to imagine, where is his team? Where's Mitro? Where's CRR? Did they do a split drop to try to kill race? What is going on?
Don't get too wild now. But no, I mean, you're right, though. You're right. I mean, where is the rest of his team? I don't know. Why is Wolfies there by himself? I really don't know. Is he the only one that played at the trio? Hey, there's a lot of questions still to be answered, but to be by himself, you're going for a split drop in a competitive game. It's a bold move, Cotton, but I don't think it's paying off.
Rifa, Mongraal. Out of all the names, I could have said wrong there, but Saevid trying to run away from this fight. They've been playing so good up until this point. They're one of those teams that are definitely in the money. But you talk about the desperation feeling, the pressure that you will feel from game number 6. I think that's what we're feeling here from Schmecky Snag and Steelix. They're trying to hunt them down. They're trying to get that elimination point, backtracks to try to get the tags onto Steelix. There's going to come a point in time where they have to turn around. They have to take this fight because they're going to run out of mats. They're going to run out of heals taking these tags.
I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Mongraal and all of them were actually eliminated off the rip too, which is not good if they're trying to get up into that top side position. Only 70 players, so again, we expected that in Game 6, right, to be more aggressive playstyle, and that's exactly what we are getting. Snag will go and snag up an elimination himself. Well done. That's going to be 2 for him. Stillix is going to have 1 as well. Schmecky with none but fine. Fair enough. You got your teammates there for a reason. Nyrox will pick up Legend, and I saw Airwalk also in the elimination feed, so things are starting to heat up for some of those top trios, but Storm Surge might not even take effect here if players keep dropping off at the rate they are.
Yep. We talked about like I said, the desperation effects, the pressure that you feel from a game number 6. Knowing you have to take as much control of that game as possible. I don't know where Letshe's at, but he's definitely in an altercation here. I see his teammate in the kill feed. That's going to be the second one being cleaned up. And there it goes. Switch on over to the battle. Letshe, he's trying to help his teammates towards the high ground. Kylie's split up by himself. And this is where Aiden 7 is going to pick that one up. Kylie's trying to fall. It looks like they're going to hunt him down, chop him down even, and make that elimination that much easier. Timber!
He's stupid, man. Hey. But you know what? Hey, sometimes that timber really does make people fall, man. But in this time, I guess not so much. But, you know, there's still hope for top 3 to be contested, even though we do see some of the top-level teams explore, or at least on the leaderboard, I should say, fall off a bit earlier on. I mean, after all, Letshe is still alive. And if you guys are just joining us, there was an offer to give away a $100 pay safe card if Letshe wins and gets the victory royale. So there is hope.
There's definitely hope. You know me, I'm the 1 in a million type of guy. As long as there's a 1 in a million chance, you know I'm in there to win it. Because it does look like they're separating just a little bit. Have to be careful. They're coming up on another trio. And this is not bad Sniper. We talked about the altercation, but not bad Sniper and the team of Vortex almost all 6 games long. Coming out on this one, it's not bad Sniper who eliminate Vortex and stop their miracle run from opens to semis to finals. It's over for them.
MrSavage taking MrStash. That's a storyline we've been following from Steamy Stacks for quite some time, by the way. So seems as if they might have a chance to kind of win that. It might seem like silly. He's jumping up and down, by the way, is because he doesn't want to get sniped. Like that's why he's doing that. He's not showboating for the camera or anything. Okay, Noah Riley on your screen. So there it is. Metro, CRR, Noah Riley, just on the other side. So Wolfies, I guess, being that outlier, kind of split dropping, if you will. But we'll see what... Yeah, I mean, but you know what? I don't know if that's the best play. Clearly, it wasn't.
No, it's not.
If it works out, it's the best play in the world. It's the most confident play. But if it doesn't work out, which it doesn't, now you got to question it, right? That's kind of how it works.
What do you think Metro and CR are talking about right there? Talking about what they're going to eat for dinner tonight. Talking about the game plan. How they're going to get out of this sticky situation. I will say, luckily... It wasn't Noah Riley, Vidil, or Resin that picked up any of these eliminations, so they didn't have a chance to shake them down. You got to imagine they don't know where they're at, and so this could be an opportunity for them to strike or surprise attack this trio. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I don't think they know. Yeah, they definitely don't know they're there. This is the funniest thing. So Wolfie's obviously landing at Dirty Docks. He's eliminated. And now you got Metro and CRR just down below, ready to pounce. Ready to, I mean, literally ready to pounce. This is going to be a wild experience. If they even engage, I mean, they're not shooting. Like, they're just chilling.
And this is where the trio of Mongraal's team, and I do believe that was Steelix's team, both landed around this location, I do believe. I could be wrong. And they got forced out. You saw Mongraal's team go down, and they're just looting whatever is left. And almost by judging by, I think they found a chest or two over there. I don't know how much it was actually looted, because they went straight for the fight.
They're still there? Like, what are they doing?
Hey, they're in the zone. That's all that matters. They're just getting those
I guess, but like,
waiting for everybody to just leave until they hear nothing, not even in the distance.
Huh.
Or maybe they're praying. Maybe they're not talking. Maybe they're just praying they pull zone so they could stay there.
Could you imagine? Hold up. Now, Vidil's about to make a big mistake. He's about to make a massive mistake. Straight into a pump and attack. He's surely bound to go in there. Oh yeah, he's definitely about to. They are. Look at them. You can see their avatars through the X-ray just turning as they just look his way. No, they're ready to trigger a team, and it's gonna.
Did they know the whole time?
They were spotted. The cat's out of the bag. The cat's out of the bag, and Ryzen's gonna get the angle. No, that's not. The plan's falling apart. The plan didn't work. In fact, it was disastrous, and Metro and CRR will be eliminated.
I need to know when they actually saw them, because if they just farmed everything around to get the mats and they knew they were there the whole time, or did they look through one of those wooden panels, whatever the case, that was definitely a push to take out some of the fan favorites and Metro, CRR. You know, Wolfies landed by himself. He got taken out a long time ago. But interesting enough, I just really wonder, you know, how they saw him. I don't know if they took any steps. It did look like they were staying as quiet as possible, but they spot themselves a jump pad that they could recycle. So that's going to make the rotation that much easier.
I think, I don't know. I mean, at that point, they had just destroyed every artifact, every building that was around that area. Maybe they were bound to engage. Heartbreaking loss, though. It really is, and you can definitely. Or at least from my perspective, you know, from MrSavage and Good, like they're just not happy with that performance. You know, how could you be? Or even Metro and all that, but The show must go on. The show absolutely must go on, and we still have some talented members in here, if I'm not mistaken. Esti's one of them who's going to be just up ahead. We have a free rotate, not being punished at all, for Janus, Hin, and Chapix. And they're going to be sneaking up. Shots are going to be fired.
I don't know if this is worth it for them now.
But you know what? They're not being punished, and an opportunity presents itself, and Kiko's going to fall.
And look at the IO guards on the other side. They're sandwiched right now, these two trio teams trying to stay alive. One of those eliminations being cleaned up by Chapix. That was an early down. But I talked about the IO guards. As long as they stay on this side, they will continue to try to put out that damage on these players trying to survive. But it's going to be not bad Snipers team who get the last laugh in the end. They get the cleanup. And now they're just trying to stop and swat out these annoying IO guards. It's like they're flies.
Like they're flies indeed. Man, yeah, Kiko falling in the way that he did, highly unfortunate. And that's the thing. It's sometimes, you know, rotating in without building is actually the play to make, because it's a little bit more covert, right? I know it seems simple, but I mean that's a real thing. And they didn't make a sound. They didn't make any inklingness to that they were going to be going forward, and obviously results in one elimination, and then they back out. It's that simple. And now they're going to try and gatekeep. Esti, though, had a great line of sight, barely missing a shot. I believe giving Hin a haircut, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, our second place team looks as if they are healthy and ready to go, and rotating over towards Misty Meadows. You hear that turret going off?
I'm about to say, who's messing around up there? You got to be careful. Snipers are back. You don't want to get taken out. MrSavage in the kill feed. MrSavage takes down Hen. It's only a knock for now, but that is an important battle. The cleanup is coming through for MrSavage, and they are going to have the man advantage wherever that fight is going on, as they're trying to dodge everything right here from this high ground team. They're on top of Misty Meadows. They're inside of the zone as well, as you see Janus and Chapix trying to stay alive in zone, and this is going to be crucial to their survival and maintaining that first place position.
And just to point it out as well, Vortex is eliminated. That was Anis who was able to take him down. So I'm curious if our qualifier team has met their end. I don't know how many more are still going to be alive, but either way, we'll continue on with the storyline. Losing Hin hurts. Losing Hin hurts. But how many times have we watched Chapix and Janix, or any combination of the trio, go into late game as a duo and do fairly well? So the fact that two of them are still alive, again, in first place by about 30 or so points, they've got a good lead. So all they have to do is just place decently well, and they should be just fine. But MrSavage has had a long drive, it seems, and he's just going to try and go with Andretta and just get in the safe zone if he possibly can. Janus, though, going for a late rotate. We've been seeing this more often than not.
Yeah, but it's ticking for two. He has bandages, 3 medkits, so I do believe they are going to make it out of the zone. But with how much left over is going to be the question, depending on how far it is. A minute left until it closes. And then we're going to be in towards the 4th zone. Chapix, he's just surviving just on fumes right now with bandages. Like I said, he does have the med kit. He went ahead and spread that one out, but they need to be careful. Bad snipers right in front of him. You have the team of Noah Riley as well. Noah Riley is definitely in contention, not only to be in the money, but to take away that first place spot.
Dell onto Esti. You also got a couple more players from that trio trying to rotate in, though they do have plenty of mats to tunnel. And at this point, Noah Riley obviously in contention for third, well, in third, respectively, I should say, right? They are currently in third. Still 50 players remaining. They need a solid placing in order to stay in the money, because there's a lot of teams from third through eighth who are kind of nipping at their heels.
They see all those shots being fired off, and they're behind right now, so they know they need to pick up eliminations. They need refreshes as well, as they're looking to kind of take advantage of this opportunity. They know another team is targeting him. Etsy does go down. That one is going to be cleaned up. I don't know if the point goes over to Enretta, but he's definitely going to get the resource. He's definitely going to get the refresh, and they have the man advantage in this fight as well. That's going to make it that much easier, but somebody else is rotating through. They need to be careful here. It's a high risk, high reward. Even though they need the points, I know they don't want their tournament lives to end here.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, how could you want that? I mean, at this point in time, when you're still trying to make it into the money, if you possibly can. Opportunity Zen, and Dreda's going to be coming through. A couple of shots are going to be tagged onto him. Noah Riley goes for a snipe. Not going to be able to see anybody just yet, though, but an opportunity to rotate a little bit further is there. Misses that shot by a mile to the right, but no worries at all. He'll still work his way on top of the building, but he's keeping MrSavage and Dreda in his line of sight. If I'm not mistaken, MrSavage takes quite a bit of damage, and Noah Riley's going for an engagement by himself.
Oh. Resin goes down. That's going to be big. Noah Riley. I don't think they can sacrifice anything here, and depending on how this trio plays, they can kind of camp the card, not let them get the reboot. Zone moving in as well. He gets tagged from above. He has that slurp cannon, so it's not too much to worry about, but he gets sniped from the back as well. I don't know if he got the card. I have to believe that he did get the card. He wouldn't go ahead and sacrifice all that to kind of make way without it, as Noah Riley doing what he can to get their position into the zone, but there's players above him. There's players below him. They have to be careful here as he's relying on letting all these players rotate in as he heals in the zone.
And again, this is a huge moment for Vidil and his teammates. I mean, obviously, they need to maintain their lives. They need to play it out because at this point in time, they could, in fact, skyrocket up the leaderboards. But if they lose their lives, if they fall, it's going to be over with. Noah Riley actually does fall. Unfortunately, the third place team only has one more representative on their team alive currently on the map. And everybody nipping at their heels, they could, in fact, fall out of the money.
Look right now, they really did a good job of bouncing back. They're taking the elimination points when they can. They're not getting over aggressive here, but Noah Riley did go down. It's all up to Vidil making his way into the zone as fast as possible. He has the chug cannon. He can get some HP back up, but it's also going to give away his position. He's going to get the reboot as well. I wonder what type of play he's going to make here. As in Lazy Leg, 39 seconds, the zone's going to move and force everybody off of that reboot ban. So this could be an opportunity here, depending on how much health he has left or how many uses he has those chug cannon to get the revive off. As Rep's guard goes down, MrSavage team is down and out.
Wow, and a big loss again. MrSavage just with his roster just did not have the best performances, and it's unfortunate, but it happens. It was Steamy Stacks that was really getting the better of them, and I believe that was Merstash, one of our qualifier teams, who were just putting up a great fight over in that location.
Oh,
did he get blocked? He did. Unfortunate.
Yeah,
you think you're dipping out. You think you're dipping out, but then you get coned.
Not in my house. He's gonna chase him down. Now that you know he's trapped there by himself.
Nice shot.
Big tags, getting the shield off him. They're forcing him into the storm to take that damage. Vidil is going to be here in this one as well. Different trios trying to stay alive. That's why I said the possibility, depending how much it's ticking. He's ticking 5 for him. He knows he cannot be the hero his team needs. It's all up to you with the game on the line. You're so close to staying in the money, but there are so many incredible teams on your heels.
So many incredible teams, right? I mean, again, if he can just get placement points, they'll be okay. After all, 6 eliminations with Ryzen as well as Noah Riley, not too bad. So if Vidil maybe pick up a couple more, place within top 10. I think that should be enough. Don't quote me, but I think that should be enough. Benjyfishy is going to find one onto Flames. Oh no, Vidil's gone. Third place might be now vacated and given up, and that's a heartbreaking elimination.
Yeah, definitely one that's going to kind of eat you up in the inside at the end, especially, you know, you didn't really have to take that jump head, or at least I don't think so. We're talking about the same player there for that moment, but the team that has a chance to steal away the money. Everybody in our top 3 is going to still be alive, so it's anyone's game, but I will say the longer that Janice and Chapik stay alive as a duo, they're going to make it that much harder for anybody to overtake them. It doesn't matter how many eliminations you got, a 28-point lead. So you need the victory royale just to get 30, and that's only 4 if they get second. That's only 4 more points. So you have to find those eliminations throughout the course of the game.
Another roster that we're looking at, this trio currently second place, 158, looking to overtake Hin, Janice, and Chapix, which I'm curious if they're still alive. We know that we're kind of, you know, struggling a little bit. They only had 2 players left, right, Jacob? And if they're still in, man, they're going to be sitting pretty and looking quite well. Yeah, there they are on your bottom screen. So Janice, as well as Chapik, still alive. And again,
center zone.
And center zone, too. This could not get any better for the first place team.
Yep. I'm just looking at the players alive. I don't know if we're going to see Storm Surge rather quickly. And depending on if players get eliminated when this zone begins to force them to move. They have Fireflies from the bottom. Buildings catching fire. He's trying to get the wood on out of there. quick moves from Janus. The consistency out of this trio is just insane. Unfortunate that hand ran into MrSavage, got eliminated early on into this one, but they're doing a good job as a duo. And there's one of those teams below them. They're trying to make sure to keep everybody to the low ground, or at least everybody that is below them. They don't know this is the team that's hot on their heels.
How could you know in this moment, right? It's almost impossible to know, especially with how many teams are around. Looks like Joe's having a hard time, and yeah, Joe is going to be finished off, unfortunately. So we'll see at least that trio potentially struggle or be completely, totally eliminated. If I'm not mistaken, I think I just seen somebody kind of launch pad over. Somebody in the box of Janus and Co? Say it ain't so. Yes, there is. Are you kidding me? That is not the box you want to go into, my guy. Not the fight you need, and that's Benjyfishy of all people.
Everybody just kind of jump padding around them. And I do believe Letshe is going to be one of those trios that has the high ground for now, but they're going to have to be careful how they play this. They're at the high ground at the top of a mountain. Look at where Zone goes, across the river towards Lazy, so they're going to have to be very, very careful. In fact, most of these trios have to be very careful. A lot of them are going to be looking to recycle some jump pads or use their own if they have it. For the ones that are on foot, good luck to you.
Yeah, honestly, right. Just not going to be easy. And it's funny that this is, in fact, the final zone. Teak. You know, Teak, we haven't talked much about Seti, Kemi, as well as Teak, but the fact is they are, in fact, in 4th place. And with 3rd place already being eliminated, they can overtake and place in the money if they play this properly. But the only thing I'm worried about, they don't have any eliminations yet, and top 13 is not going to be enough. So they need to step it up, pick up some more elims, place high, and they can take over Noah Riley and Co in 3rd.
Yep, see some people asking about Airwalk. Saw him in the kill feed for a moment, but I saw him again. And this time, I don't want to say I cursed him, but he is taken out by Not Bad Sniper. Another one of chat's favorites here in this one. A few of those guys want to see him, but towards the high ground, Letshe again, but they're being contested. Kylie goes down. They're being separated as well. I don't see Letshe anywhere, but I do see one of his teammates who's trying to waterfall down, keep his team's hopes alive into this one, as the majority of the lobby is funneled down low. You see a short pad as well, and you see one from the high ground, one of our qualifier teams. Everybody doing what they can to stay alive as this one goes up ground once more. It was at the edge of Lazy Lake towards the bottom, but now it's going up the mountain right next to Lazy Lake.
And I know TQ as well was going up the mountain, so there's an opportunity. We see 4th place go against 1st place relatively soon. Now you got 2nd place right on the hills as well, so things are getting tense. Deceptos needs to stay alive in this moment again, so close to overtaking the 1st place position, but unfortunately taking a lot of damage. He's got 15 cabbages for what it's worth, but I don't know if he's going to have time to even pop those. Oh, the tree makes things awkward, but he does break through. Player's going to be in this box just below. An opportunity to take a mini is there. He gets it. Teammate just beside him.
Cabbages.
Or at least I thought so. His Squeeze is still alive. I can't believe it. He's got like 1 HP.
He has some cabbages to go around. That'll definitely get you back up if you have the timing to do it. Decepto drops. He takes some damage from below, gets separated from the rest of his team. Depending on if he can reunite with him, he's stuck on the low ground. His shields are off as well. You see Chapix and Janus navigating through all that chaos. They get separated as well, and this is going to be hard for them to survive. A total of less than 50 HP and shields combined for Janus. No builds either, only 2 total pieces he can go ahead and look for. He gets a shot on the one player, looking for the siphon. That's a big knock, gets the refresh as well, and this is an opportunity. He actually doesn't get the siphon, doesn't get the refresh. It's all up to you, Chapix.
It's all up to Chapix. Top 6, though. I think this is enough to hold on to 1st place. Oh my gosh, 1 HP. 1 HP in a dream. And I guess that dream is dead. But I believe they still hold on to 1st place. On top, though, once again, from game to game, back-to-back games, indeed, is going to be Jerky and Co. is going to be up top, and TQ down low. And again, TQ needs this elimination. He needs to survive, and he doesn't. We're down to trio versus trio action.
That was literally them staying alive. Could have taken 3rd place away from Noah Riley and their trios. Trulex going forward, connecting his build so they don't get knocked down towards the high ground. This is a trio versus trio. 3v3 going down. You might as well call it a rager because there's definitely $750 on the line for this victory royale. Kwakame, he going to drop down in the zone. He's taking the tags. He's going to fall. It's all up to Jerky and Trulex. They're doing what they can to stay ahead. Popping dropping a med kit towards the low ground. It is going to be a 3v1. I do believe it's all up to Jerky. No, it's a 2v2. It's all up to you at the top. He's going to pop the med kit, but can he drop down? He has to get these eliminations. He's not going to be able to pop the med kit and go to a heal off. He has to figure out a way to create some separation, but there's no builds. They can drop him down at a moment's notice, and it'll be game over. There goes the build. There goes the shot, and he clutches it. Jerky clutches it. He comes down on top to take the game.
Yo, Jerky, are you kidding me? What a play from him. And Jerky makes it happen. The high ground Warriors going big. I can't believe he picks up those 2 A-limbs. The attack is beautiful. The attack is amazing, and the attack was the hero. Jerky is actually disgusting. Like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, the fact that Jerky gets that, hey, Jerky's scary, man. Hey, Jerky is scary.
I told you.
It's a bad man, brother.
They weren't going to make it for the top 3, but that 3v3 was for $750 victory royale. Those players might not have walked away with the lion's share, but $250 each ain't bad, if you say so myself.
No, absolutely not. $750 for victory royale just for getting the win. You were already going to be playing for the VR anyways, right? Well, Jerky able to secure it. That was an awesome 3v3.
I'll never get over that. I'll never get over that.
Because again, he has to hit 2 perfect shots. He doesn't hit those 2 perfect shots, it's over with. And he makes it happen. You know, in those moments, I would love to be hearing the comms. You know, if this was a LAN event, I would love to look over as a caster and just see them freak out and see what they really look like, or maybe no emotion at all. You never know. Some of the best players have no emotion after a clutch play like that. They're not like us who freak out. And we're like, whoa, that was amazing. You know, they're just like, it is what it is, you know, what else? But I know Fortnite off of Reddit. Hey, I've been watching those clips and I'm constantly seeing kids, you know, freak out nonstop. But well done. Hey, it looks like Game 6 is over with. Let's do a recap at least of our prize pool. So again, you can understand what is at stake. And the prize pool is definitely a beautiful thing. Let's be real here, right? We got first place, $10,500. Second place, $3,000. Third place, 1,950 euros to be exact. Victory Royale, 750 euro bonus was there. But that first place is what everybody was going for. And I think we created a nice dialogue, a nice storyline as to who was going to be able to take over the third place, right, Jacob? I think that was kind of one of the biggest things to take note of. But I like what I'm seeing. I think today was a very successful day around. I mean, honestly, the last 2 days, you know, I casted with you today. I casted with Togata yesterday. In total, 6, 12, 18, 24 rounds is what I had to cast over the past 2 days. And let me say, every round was beautiful, and every round had its own unique moments.
Yeah, from 12,000 individuals, over 4,000 teams loading to start off this tournament, dwindled down stage by stage, 66 from each heat to make a total of 132. From there, it's dwindled down earlier today to the top 8 that get advanced to the finals to play against the 25 of Europe's best invited teams. It came down to the very last game. You got to think some of these teams did have a good lead, so we think it's up to third place to see. I don't believe that I know all the trio's name, but Saevid for sure was a part of it, and I believe TQ as well. Did they do enough to steal away third place?
That's the question. I don't know if the leaderboard is ready to go, but one thing that I do want to say before we do get to that moment, shout out to our partners, Logitech, PaySafeCard, who brought all this together alongside that of the beautiful team of G2. We love to see it there across multiple esports. Obviously, this weekend was all about Fortnite, but what an event it has been. And to have 4,000 trios enter in, right? I think that's the biggest thing. 4,000 trios started this event. Only 66 ended up moving from each heat, ended up being 132 trios. That ended up being 8 trios into 33 total teams into the grand finals. The run from even the qualifier teams, despite them potentially not even making the money, I'm so proud of their ability to perform so hard day in and day out. Stamina is a real thing with those guys.
No, it definitely is, because like you talked about, 12 games yesterday, 6 before the finals even happened, and then to be able to stay consistent for some of those guys, I believe Orb's team, Malabuka's team, getting into the top at one point or another, holding on to a position of 8th place, let it slip through towards the very end. But this is definitely a massive learning experience for these players, as long as they can kind of keep it up. I can see a lot of these players getting into the money sooner rather than later, as long as they can keep progressing as individuals. And I love those teams, the open teams, the underdog teams, because it shows that anybody really does have a chance in Fortnite.
Well, let's cut the suspense, Jacob. Let's cut the suspense. Everybody had a chance, but only 3 teams made that chance possible to take first, second, and third. What are those teams going to be? Let's look at our leaderboard and finally see who's up top. So there it is. Hin, Janus, and Chapix hold on. And in fact, not only hold on, but thrive. 213, 178 in at the bottom there for Deceptos, Wakey and Co., and then Seti, Kemi, and TQ. They make it happen. That late game run ended up paying off dividends, and they round us off at third.
They were right on their heels. I was wondering if it was going to be enough. The 6th and final game coming down to the wire, and TQ Camion said he'd do it. Congratulations to you guys taking home a part of that cash prize pool, and they have definitely impressed me time and time again. A consistent average placement of 8th place. When you have this many competitors, this many of the world's best, I know this was a European tournament, these are the world's best competitors when it comes to Fortnite. It is so hard to stay as consistent as these players have been able to do.
Oh, without question. I mean, consistency is tough to have. It really is. But I mean, you know, we've really seen that with Chapix and his team. So impressed with them. I really, really am impressed with them. I mean, first place in the gauntlets and the way that they win consistently and thoroughly. You know, averaging, you know, average of 6th overall. I mean, you talk about 33 trios, talented trios.
Right, the best average.
Yeah, I mean, in the average 6 like that, Jacob, is just, I mean, absolutely incredible. It's been a great weekend. It really has, Jacob. And I know we're about to come to a close, but man, please, I got to hear what you got to think about the entire event. Maybe what are your final and closing thoughts?
Hey, I got to give it up to all of these competitors. They went through the gauntlet. These 25 trio teams, yeah, they got invited here, but the finals itself is a gauntlet. You saw so many big names go down early, and that's why I like to shine that light onto these underdog teams, these teams trying to make a name for themselves, because like I said, it gives so many players hope. When you go from 12,000 individual players, and then you can call yourself one of the top 3 finalists, that gives you hope. That lets these players know that they're grinding towards the back end, that might not have any earnings up until this point, that it's still your time. You can't give up just yet. It's all about how you practice your game. And I'm going to go ahead and lay it out for you guys. It's not all about just playing Fortnite anymore. I think esports as a whole has evolved above and beyond where it has years go. It's about having that perfect practice. I know in a game like Fortnite, it's very hard to get that perfect practice, but it's definitely possible. And you can ask Janus, Hen, and Chapix. They were consistent the entire way through. Their game plan didn't change much until the final game where Hen did go down early. That's when they were forced to adapt on the fly, and they consistently did it towards the end. Towards the beginning, it didn't matter. They had a commanding lead that led it to where they can lose Hen at that point into the game and still come out on top.
Fortnite's a beautiful game, isn't it, Jacob? Right? It's made a lot of people's lives. It's magical. It really is. And it continues to get better and better, it seems, with the competitive community. And again, shout out to G2 for putting on such an amazing event and having us to be able to cast and overall really view EU and kind of see what they're all about. And like I said, EU, you guys scary, man. You guys could bring in that fuego, bring in that energy, bring in that heat. But it has been a blessed week. And thank you so much for joining us, right, for the G2 Esports Get the Cash Cup powered by Logitech and PaySafe Card. You know, great sponsors in general. Check them out, Logitech, PaySafe Card. PaySafe Card, by the way, you can use them to buy V-Bucks. So, hey, I don't know. You decide how you go about that. But I know V-Bucks, you got to buy your Battle Pass. You're also going to buy, I think, the new season pass that they currently have, and then also your skins. You'll love to see a PaySafe Card making some magic things happen. And also to the panel down below, check it out so you can potentially pick up your G2 Atlantis t-shirt. Hey, get it before you miss out, right? I think it's a great clean shirt overall. The design is well done, and it's one you might not be able to pick up at all times. So make sure you check out the panel down below. Very simple. Click on it. Just take a look at it. That's all I'm asking for you guys to do. But thank you so much for joining us this weekend. For myself, Taylor Reflections Noble, Jacob MVPR, Tokata from yesterday, our production team, and you in chat, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you again on the next G2 broadcast.